Hello and welcome to Andy Likes Cars. Today we're going to be looking at a car, not a stereo. And today's car is something big, red and American, and that's because I'm in Florida. Okay, so this is what I've got. It's the 2023 Chevrolet Camaro, and I believe this is the base model. It's convertible, and there's a handy feature on the key fob here. If I just press and hold this here, the roof will lower all by itself. And as you can see from here, there's a huge amount of space that isn't taken up by the boot. Oh look, we've got all this plastic stuff here. Oh, look at all this. All this stuff down here. I don't know what any of this stuff is. I'm sure this is all not. Anyway, as you can see, you actually get this much boot space because all of this is for the roof, and apparently it takes up all the room. And now we have the roof down, so I can show you a little bit more of the car. So around the back, you have twin exhausts, you have some nice lights, and the very classic Camaro design. And to show you really how small the boot is, look at this, it's tiny. You really have this much space here. It's quite limited. Yes, because right now, as you can see, the boot is right there. So as you can see, the roof is right there. Okay, so what's it like to drive? Well, first things first, being a convertible, it's not the stiffest chassis in the world, and right now the GoPro is jiggling around, even though we're going just under 30 miles an hour. And the rear view mirror at like 70 miles an hour just vibrates constantly. It's like the scene in Jurassic Park when the dinosaurs coming and the rear view mirror shakes. It does that constantly. So there's a fair bit of vibration through the old windscreen. It's a very comfortable car to drive. It doesn't have hard suspension, but given that in America they only have roads that are straight, as far as I can tell, cornering ability is not the most important thing, I guess, because you're never going to go around a corner, because there are no corners to go around. There's just lots of straight roads. So after driving for a couple of hours in this car, even though it's comfortable, the amount of vibrations that actually come through the steering wheel kind of you get a little bit of fatigue through your old hands. It's not terrible. I actually had a Ford Mustang before this, which had slightly harder suspension and was slightly sportier to drive. A nice car. I had to get rid of it because it had some issues, so I got this instead. That had worse vibrations. That was a lot worse, but it was also a sportier car. But these aren't the stiffest vehicles out there, and even though this is a brand new model, yeah, you wouldn't actually know by driving it. Which is a good time to show you the performance. So foot down. It moves, but it doesn't move fast. I wouldn't call this a fast car. It will do it, sort of. It's not a performance car. It's very much a cruiser. It moves, and apparently it's got a good 0 to 60 time, but with a big automatic gearbox and a very lazy automatic gearbox, it doesn't feel fast. There is a manual mode to the gearbox. Maybe that makes it feel faster. I don't know. Maybe we should try that. Manual mode's kind of weird. Pointless, and it just sort of stops you. It doesn't even sound that loud. So I shift it back into auto and leave it there. This is a car that, even though it's got pedal shifters, it really isn't necessary to drive it with them. I just tried it to do performance-y driving onto the on-ramp, which is really the only place you can go quickly. It really wasn't necessary. It's actually just as fast in automatic mode. It was no faster in manual mode. I'm not even sure why they fit them car doing an indicated 80 miles an hour, and yeah, it feels fine. This sounds anemic. There is nothing remarkable about the engine sound. I think it's a V6. It could be a 4-cylinder. It's hard to tell, but I'm pretty sure it's a V6 because it has almost no sound at all. There's no sports exhaust at all. It's very standard. But overall, cruising on the highway or the freeway, it's quite nice to drive. It's very relaxing. It's a low effort kind of car. Is this a sports car? No, not at all. I doubt that this is a sporty car. It's a car that's fast enough, but with big fat tyres, it's got a smooth ride and it's quite comfortable to drive. But it's not a sporty car at all. So driving the car around at town speeds is quite nice. As for Camaro, well, it's a big soft cruiser. This is not, I think, a car that, despite its muscle car origins, was ever designed to go fast around a corner. It's very comfortable. It reminds me a little bit of like an old Mercedes. It's big, it's wafty, the suspension's pretty soft. Overall, it's kind of a bit crude though, right? Like, it's not the most refined vehicle. There's no wind deflector and it can get a bit blustery, I guess. If you are going to get a rental car, you should probably get a convertible unless you have more than one person going. This is probably suitable for maximum of 2 people because the boot is tiny. So the interior of the Camaro is fairly, it's okay. It's a little plasticky, but it's fairly solid. One nice thing is this, it has Android Auto. It's not a very big screen, it's quite small, but as soon as you click Android Auto and you've connected your phone, it brings up music and it brings up your maps. So it works seamlessly and it's wireless. The phone is, not connected, so it works really well. Some interesting things about the interior is that the air vents are down here, so and I kind of like twist them there, open them up, and to turn on to adjust the temperature of the you adjust the temperature by twisting this one, and you adjust the fan speed by twisting this one, so that's nice. There is a sport mode here, which goes from tour, sport, snow and ice. In front of us we have the instrument cluster. It's actually fairly well made. The cheapness of American cars is not what it once was. This feels really rather solidly made. I mean, it's not super expensive, but this isn't the worst plastic. Okay, this isn't hard. This is still a bit hard, but still, you can't even rest your arm up there because then you'll be doing this, so that's not going to work. This is leather, so the touch points are nice. Some of it's a bit cheap and nasty, and for a new car, maybe it's worn a little bit. What else? So you've got cool air vents, you've got paddle shifters. It's all fairly kind of standard, really. This is frameless, which is kind of cool. There's little reading lights up here. There's no cover on the sun visor. There's a 12 volt power socket there, and under this central armrest is some space, and you can charge your phones from there, and you don't need to connect your phone to make the Android Auto work. It just sort of works automatically. You don't even have to download Android Auto. It just works. It's really quite wonderful. There's a glove box here, so it's a glove box and it has the user manual in it. Exciting times. Reasonably sporty interior. Okay, well, it's time to say goodbye to the Chevrolet. I'm going to drop it off back at the rental car agency now, but we'll just have one more quick look around it. So at the front you can see it's very muscular and sporty, and it looks pretty good. It's really good for the roof down, and like I said before, one really cool thing is this has a tonneau cover so that the roof isn't seen when it's put away, so that's nice. Some of the finishing is a little bit cheap though, a little bit cheap there. It's nice that it says Camaro there. Oh, I just leaned on this and it moved. it's pretty cheap, and like I said, the boot is tiny. So those are the negatives and the positives of the Chevrolet Camaro, and thank you for watching.